Here we go. Friday weight training session. We're back in business here. And I hope everybody's up and going and my battery's up and going. So that's a good thing too. So again, I have my chair. This is one of your best. We're going to take a little test again today. Everybody likes tests, I know. Just to kind of see where you're at. That's the reason I do them. So don't get freaking out, okay? I'm going to use our weights, our free weights. You need to, for anybody coming on and pulling this up, you can use bands, which I have a band always right here by my chair, because who knows when you might feel like you want to do some strength work. So you want to make sure you have your band, you have your free weights. So I'm just going to hold these up. These are channel changed free weights. Many of you have gotten them from me. They don't make these anymore, just to let you know. These are the good ones. They go from 3 to 18 pounds, okay? And if you don't have that kind of a thing, just your free weights, many people just get them single weights. Make sure you have a lightweight and a heavyweight, and then we'll figure out the in-betweens. So for instance, like right now, I just turned it up to very, very light, okay? Because I'm gonna do some shoulder joint moves as a warm-up. And you see, I wanna be able to move like this. And I wanna be able to move like this and not hurt my shoulder, okay? I put 3 pounds into my hands right here. All right, I put 3 pounds into my hands and I'm just doing a step and a swing through, a step and a swing through. And what you don't see me doing, which I'm going to point out right now, like right now, I said to myself, drop my shoulders, breathe in through the nose, keep my elbows straight but soft, and I stepped forward with a bent knee. Lastly, when I step forward on this swing through, I don't go into this perpetual leaning that we do when we ambulate forward. When I come here, and what you don't see, other than dropping the shoulders, it's the rib cage up cueing that I give myself, okay? I'm slowing these moves down for a reason. So many of us, when we start working out, we kind of get into I don't know, a zombie zone. We don't think, okay? Drop your shoulders, rib cage up. Yeah, and actually push on your chin to go back. Why do I have you do this? Number one, I'm trying to give you the best opportunity to load your vertebrae, and that includes your neck, safely. And I'm getting them to fire right now. I'm getting the muscles to fire all around the vertebrae. So I'm slowing this down for a reason. So many people will start doing a move like this, and they'll just kind of tune me out and just kind of like, oh, I'll just do this. And then they start leaning out. So if you're going to take the time to do this class with me, I'm going to keep hammering on you to line up, okay? That's why I keep harping at you to do these cueing, this little cueing mantra, to really start to successfully not only load your vertebrae with a very light weight. These are only 3 pounds. I'll go to what I typically pick up for when we're starting to lift. I start using a 6 pound in a hand for my lightweight, but this is warming up, okay? So I have swung now from my shoulder and dropped my shoulders several times now, okay? Take a big breath through the nose. Always try to really make yourself go through the nose. And then when you're stepping in here and you're ready to take that other step, but yet we're going to come back, get that rib cage up. Yes. Take a big deep breath. Just a few more. Stay with me. It's here. And then these very, very light weights. And some of you might choose to use no weight for this part of the warming up. Take a big breath in through the nose. Yeah, and you go ahead and exhale through your mouth if you need to. But if you can, breathe in through the nose and force yourself to try to exhale through the nose. Okay, so we're doing single leg stances for a split second. You don't realize it, but right there I did a single leg stance, okay? Right there. As a matter of fact, when you're walking, that's what you're doing, isn't it? You're doing a series of a split second single leg stance. That's why walking is one of the most perfect exercises. It's just we have to know how to get that load that we want. Okay, after doing these series of straight stepping through, and here's the thing, we're gonna do 3 more, and I want you to think about something, because if I were with you in your room right now, and I saw you stepping forward, my guess is many of you, not all of you, many of you did this, and then you stepped through, and you don't even realize you did it, okay? So keep those toes forward, soften up through the joints in your hips and your knees, okay? And when you do this step through, give that really good cueing, rib cage up. Big breath through the nose. Ooh, right there. And come back. And so when I step through, I have to watch, because this leg right here, I tend to come in. And I know this from reviewing and from watching myself when I'm moving in a mirror. I tend to go like this. And many of you that have knee issues and or knee replacements, yeah, that's a thing. Think about it. That's all I'm asking you to do. Say rib cage up. And you know what? After we've done these this many times, you're starting to get your joints and especially your vertebrae warmed up, which is a good thing. Bring those hands right up here now. And I'm gonna go punch here. I'm gonna go punch here. Take a big deep breath. Some of you have significant shoulder issues. And when you go like this and you have your shoulder up, ooh, it's gonna be a problem, okay? And remember, my goal is to get us functional in our joint ranges, all right? You should be able to go across like this with a gentle weight and bring it back and not have pain. If you do have pain on one or the other or both, then don't use any weight, okay? So see how I just keep correcting where I'm stepping? I want a solid foundation. I want a hip, just a little bit of a hip hinge. See that? See that move right there? That's a huge move. You got to know this. Drop your shoulders, a tiny hip hinge. I push into my heels, and then I keep the arm low. And I come over here, drop them down. Same thing. Keep the arm low and keep the shoulders down. So we're doing this, and now we're going to take the same weight, and we're going to come here, and we're going to rotate and down. Be very careful if you've chosen a light weight with me, okay? Because we're doing rotations. So that means, and if you have a tricky shoulder, I would suggest just put the weight down on that hand. You don't have to put them down on both hands, but when you go into rotating and pulling back, and then going into the midsection behind your back, just like that. See that? And you will feel it. If you have a sticking point in a shoulder, don't just say, oh, I'll never do that move again. You need to stop, unload, like put a weight down, and we're gonna go out again, and then we're gonna rotate. See this? So when I start to rotate, what you typically will see is somebody really lifting up and hunching forward. So we're going to try not to do that as we're going through these last stages as we move on into our loading, which we're already starting to load because I have 3 pounds, 3 and 3. If I go like this, and then I bring them down here, I need to keep my rib cage up, my shoulders down, and then if I find a sticking point, I note it. And if that's being a problem for you, put the weight down. Here we go. Okay, so I know all about shoulder issues, and I can tell you when you lose range or functionality in a rotational move in your shoulders, it is the weirdest thing because it just stops you in your track. Okay, right here. See, I'm sitting back. Now I'm rotating, rotating, rotating. The elbows are at the armpit height. And then I come down and back. See that? And then I come in. Then I rotate back. Turn, palms down. Do it again. Here we go. Drop your shoulders. Bring it around. Take a big deep breath. Shoulders down. Rotate. Palms down. Then my thumb starts the move. See that? Then I come back here. And I come back here. And why is it important that I go through this, especially with a little bit of a weight? Again, if it bothers you to have a weight in your hand, in your shoulder when you're doing these rotational moves, don't use the weight when we're doing the rotation, okay? In fact, I'll put both weights down now because I want you, if you do have shoulder issues, to get really a good full range, and I don't want to elicit a painful response in delicate shoulders. So see what I'm doing right now? So I'm going to answer that question. Why should I want you to do all these things? Well, for the simple fact that you like to scratch your back. There's that. Yeah, I know you can get all those little reacher things. Those are little cheater devices. And if you need to do it for a while, you need to do it. The goal of this class is to get you to have better function in all your joints. And when you're talking about shoulders, when you're talking about hips, when you're talking about ankles, backs, you have to go at it a little differently. Look at the thumb. See, I'm gonna really push back on my elbows. Yeah, because I'm gonna touch my fingers behind my head, and I'm gonna push back against those fingers right now. So your strength work has begun. This is an important move. You can do this lying flat on the ground and trying to lift back with your head. Do not do this kind of a move, okay? So why do I have to point that out? Because everybody thinks they have to lift their chin here. No, no. I want your chin to stay dropped in, and you are pushing back against those wide open arms with the back of your head into your hands. Take a big breath into the nose, push back again, push back and push forward with your fingers. Push back with your head forward with your fingers. Push back with your head forward with your fingers. Now bring those hands out here. Now rotate. The hands are right here. So you don't elevate the elbows, but try to rotate. And some of you I know are going to find a sticking point. If you find a sticking point, drop your hands. That's okay. Drop your hands. You just have to work through some of those little sticking points. I understand it. I'm taking you through some moves that we really haven't done that much concentrated. We've done them, but I haven't specifically put it into a shoulder routine. So I'm going to come right here now. I'm going to take a big breath. I'm going to do a split stance. When you do your split stance, don't lean in. Say rib cage up. Push that chin down and the head back. Take a big deep breath. Take the opposite hand of the leg that steps through, bring it down and rotate it back and come up and rotate it out. See that? Say rib cage up, bring that hand back. Here we go. I'm rotating. This is usually where if you've had shoulder issues, you're going to have a real hard time rotating here without elevating. Okay. Drop it down and come through carefully. No weights, one at a time. And you may hear some snapping and cracking as long as it's not painful. If it's painful, move as much as you can in the rotation, but drop the shoulder. See, drop the elbow, not the shoulder. You're dropping both shoulders down. And then you bring it back. Now we're going to do the other one. So step back, take a big deep breath, and you should have felt your muscle really kick in here. So I'm going to keep my hands back here. I'm going to step forward in a split stance. Yeah, that's a very important move to get good at doing. Okay, I'm pushing back on the back of my head. My chin's tucked in. Rib cage is up. Here I go. I'm going to come right like this. And I'm going to rotate. See that? Say rib cage up again. Come under and cross behind your back. Then come back. Lift that elbow. Rotate it up. Put it behind your head. Do it one more time. Take a big breath. Correct your stance. Rib cage up. Here I go. Right here. Then I rotate. And I try to keep my elbow right at my armpit. And then I bring it down. And rotate under. And try to reach up and touch up as high on your back as you can. Like that. Okay? And then come back. And come back in. Bring it down. So just standing and going through that whole maneuver with your shoulders staying in correct posture is a big deal. Good for you. Okay, I'm gonna grab my weights. So some people would like to, anytime, I have shoulder questions and stuff like that. Whenever I'm wherever, giving a talk or whatever. And the first thing anybody ever talks to me about is they want to tighten up the back part of their arm. And I'm like, well, if you've got skin that's hanging around, you can only do so much by getting your muscle stronger. So your biggest question should be, how can I strengthen the back part of my arms? Start with a light weight, number one. Do one push back and bring it in. Do the other push back and bring it in. See this? I'm going to come back up. Now, this stance is going to be very important. So go just a tiny bit wider than hips. Go into your hip hinge. And then do one at a time. Make sure everything's floating the way it should. And then as I come here, I'm going to do a shoulder squeeze. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades at this point right now. Shoulder blades are coming in. And then I'm just going to barely touch my hips here. Then I'm going to go back out and I'm going to really tighten the backs of my arms. So I'm going to go push, shoulders down, chin tucked. I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back, but I'm keeping my shoulders in a squeezing pattern. That's what you probably don't see right now that I'm telling you. Every time you do this hinge move with your elbow, drop your shoulders and squeeze the shoulder blades. Push and you push and you push. So the stance that I've chosen here is making my legs work. It's especially making my back vertebrae work. I'm keeping my chin tucked. I'm turning my head to this shoulder and then to this shoulder. I'm not tilting. Okay, stay with me, stay with me. This is going to build up a lot of tension, but it's lightweight. It's very doable. Breath. Keep your chin tucked. Press, press, press. Don't come any further forward then your hip right here. See, it's a tiny little flick. See that? Some of you are coming way too far forward to really feel this. Drop your shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades, push, push, squeeze, contract. In the back of the arms, just a couple more, just a couple more. Breath, breath, turn your chin to one side, turn your chin to the other side, turn your chin to one side, turn to another side, turn your chin, and come down and come up. Now, if you did that one correctly, woo, should be feeling it right in through there and here, okay? So that's how we start to get this muscle to tighten up, okay? Now I'm gonna put my weights down, okay? Now I'm gonna follow through on that very move with my band. This is an extra long band. The medium ones are about, I would say almost 2 inches shorter than this one. So I hope by now everybody's gotten an extra long one. Yeah, you can order them. I just carry them in class. They do wear out. They're just a little longer band. These are mediums. This is not the lightest. So coming through on what we just did now, I'm gonna hold my band with my palm up and the lower one with my palm down, okay? So I'm stacking these exercises together to innervate back here specifically. So here I go, I'm right here, and I'm just gonna put this hand right here at my chest. See that? Right under my collarbone. Then all I'm gonna do is push down. Don't grip hard. See, my handles are open actually. So I'm gonna put my hand here. Here's what you can't do is you can't lean in, okay dokie? So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be doing little tiny knee lifts. Once you're sure of this move right here, this is the move I want you to do, right here. See that? I'm not gripping, I'm pushing down with my hand, pushing down. That is innervating that back arm muscle, okay, without hurting our joints. That's the point. So once I have this and I'm good with it, and this hand right here, right under the collarbone here, should be priming you and reminding you and cueing you to say rib cage up. Because when I push down right here and I'm holding it down here, do not flare your elbow. Don't flare your elbow here. It's just a push, just like that. Keep yourself upright, and I'm just gonna bring my knee up a bit as if I'm walking in place, and I'm gonna go all the way down. I'm gonna really push down, really keep my shoulder down, okay? Keeping your shoulder down in this kind of a move will protect your shoulder, okay? You'll use those muscles around the shoulder girdle, which for stability, and then you can really feel the contraction behind the arm. That's what you want. Breath. See, I'm just kind of coming up a little bit, kind of like I'm walking in place. I want to really push this down. How many more can you do? Let's say 3. I'm feeling it. I don't know about you. Okay. Release. Whoa, right there. And the reason you got that sensation is because the work that we did beforehand, doing these things to start to what's called pre-fatiguing, so that you really work through that. Okay, I'm gonna switch. Before I switch, I'm gonna bring my hand across my chest, and I'm just gonna wave up and down. See my wrist? Yeah, drop your shoulders, take a big deep breath. That will help recover that muscle that you just squeezed hard. Yeah. Okay, you ready? My hands are flat. I'm gonna take this one and put it right here, right under my collarbone. See that? Okay. Now I'm gonna push down. That's all I'm gonna do. You can put your thumb in or hang your thumb out, whichever is more comfortable. The idea is don't flare your elbow, keep it tucked in so that when you push down, your fingers are almost forward. See that? That's what you want, okay? Now I'm gonna do little heel lifts. I'm gonna tighten in my gluteal. I'm gonna take a big breath through my nose. Breath, breath, breath through the nose. And you're just pumping your legs. See that? As you're doing your hand, keep your elbow in, do not flare it. Woo! I'm getting your arms ready, Chrissy, for gardening. This is a good one to show your gardening club. I'm sure they'll love it. Keep your elbow in. You're gonna feel a lot of tension in that back arm muscle, or I should say back arm muscles. You got 3 heads to your tricep. They take quite a bit of resistance to get them working, okay? See how I'm just keeping my wrist neutral? I'm pressing down. Take a big breath. How many more you got? Should be pretty tight right now. Take a big breath. Yes. Okay, 2 more, 2 more. And bring it back. So I don't know about you, but I can sure tell that my left arm, which is my non-preferred hand, got very tired much quicker than my preferred hand. That should tell you the strength of teeny tiny moves done very regularly. Okay, I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna hang on to this because I'm gonna sit, see, right here. And we're gonna do some sit to stands. We're gonna do it with our band around our ankles for a reason, okay? And we may put it around our knees as well. So I really want you to get comfortable using bands, especially where your knee and hip function is concerned. Because, wow, these little bands are such a help to keep your hips functioning. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to step a little bit wide. See, the band is taut. Do you see that? I'll turn here so you can see what I'm doing. See this? See, if it was in here, it's not taut here. But I want it to be straight on, and you can make it be on the outside of your pant leg if that's more comfortable, that's okay. But pretty close to your ankle, okay? Then I'm gonna step out. See that? Yeah. Now that's taut. It's a tiny bit wider. My knees are a tiny bit wider than my shoulders. Okay, so that's a good guide. And I'm assuming that you're sitting up straight so you're not rounding your shoulders. I had to say that. Okay, so here's the deal. I want you, as you're out sitting here like this, you have to actually actively engage to keep these out here. Otherwise you do this because it's, no resistance. So I want my knee, my ankle to be in line. It's a little bit wider than the hip and shoulder, okay? So I want you to actively engage the adductors and abductors, that's the side and the insides of your leg muscles, to keep this distance. Are you ready? So I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna reach out like this and then reach back, okay? Take a big breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Here's the deal. You want to do these moves that I'm doing today. It's a different approach to strength training. I'm working on little guys. In the abductors and adductors are what we think is the little guys. If those things don't work properly, you ain't gonna be walking real well, okay? So stay open, act like you're gonna stand up and then come back in, okay? Act like you're gonna stand up Here's my question. I'm going to do this with you. So listen carefully, because I'm not there to see you or correct you. You know, not that you would cheat or anything like that. I'm going to go out like this, and I'm going to ask you a question. When you go like this and you act like you're going to get up, where do you put your weight in your foot? Most of you did this and you kind of slid forward into the ball of your foot. I want you to do the opposite. So with this on here and you happen to actively keep these open, it's more of a it starts going into compound movement. They're little, they're subtle. That's why it's so easy for you to go slip into the ball of your foot. Stay into the heel, okay? Act like you're going to get up. Did you put your weight into your heel? That's what I want you to do. If you don't put your weight into your heel as you're starting to come up out of the chair, you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to go to the foot, the front of the foot, or you're going to round your back. This is crucial to functional training of our back. So see, I'm keeping this open. I'm feeling the fatigue starting, okay? Here I come, I'm in my heels, see that? It's a little move. Take a big breath, one that you don't normally think of when you're getting out of your chair, when you're getting up from a squat position, whatever. I want you to think about this move. Your feet are wide. They're working, the whole leg, inside and outside, is working to keep this wide against this band, okay? You're gonna go ahead and have lift off. Go into your heels right there. Take a breath, now come up, down, back down. See that? Okay, stay with me. Big breath in through the nose, drop your shoulders. Ready? Heels, up, down, back down. Heels, up, down, back down. Take a breath. Some of you forget to breathe when we're doing this. I know it. Breathe again. Stay open, stay open. Okay, slide into the heels because you're fixing to get up, okay? Fixing just means you're prepping. Okay, that's just what that means. Here we go. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay, down. See, I couldn't do more than that on that one. I didn't want to warn you. I didn't want to tell you because you wouldn't have done it. I can only do that many because I know that's when Kathy does mutiny and she says, no more. Okay, are you ready? Drop your shoulders, ribcage up. Keep these open. I know. Like you're leading a choir. Okay, tighten the tummy. Breath, heels, up, down. Now I'm slower. I'm coming up a little higher. But as I go down, I push my butt back harder. I go harder into my heels. This is an important maneuver. Breath, 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 and come up. Ooh, I know it. Okay, bring your leg in. Careful. Things get a little wonky. See, when you're stepping around. See how I have my little chair here? So I still have my band around my ankles. Here's my chair. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to step out. I'm going to come in. See that? I'm going to step out. So these are those very important little guide wires, I call them. They're the little guys. They're assisted by the big guys. And it all depends on which direction your foot is pointing, which direction your butt is pointing, as to whether you get the right muscle. So you do a little hip hinge, you tighten, you drop your shoulders, use your chair if you need to, you step with the toe forward, and then you come in. Okay, this is my hip replace side. So I'm not telling you to go way out of where it's safe for you to be able to adduct and abduct. Okay, abduct, you're going away. Adduct, you're bringing in. See that? Take a big breath and see, this is my hip replace side. Okay, those structures, they have to stay strong. Now you can do this lying down and do it as a leg lift. I'm doing it as a very functional move because we tend to function on our feet, right? Take a breath, drop your shoulders. And now I'm going to start revisiting the shoulder hole thing that we did to begin with. Drop the chin. Yes. Drop the shoulders. Yes. Toes are forward. When I go to step out, my knees soften. I'm doing a tiny hip hinge, but what I have to do is lean into my support leg and then step out with the side muscles. Step in, and you bring it in, not all the way. You want to keep a little resistance on the band, but you just keep saying rib cage up because I want this to train your back as well. See that? I'm not going very far, but my toe is definitely in dorsiflexion. So for somebody that's really working on their ankle, their foot, well, this is for you. Boom, see that? Okay, now I'm gonna stay in the move. I'm gonna step out there and I'm gonna just do this. This is my hip replace side. I'm not going way up, but whoa, do I feel this all through here. Take a breath, rib cage up. See, it's just a little tiny flick of a move. And it really gets these going. Okay, little hip hinge, and then you come back. Now I'm going to do the other side. So I'll turn this way so you'll see what I'm doing. So I'm right here. I'm going to do a little hip hinge. I'm going to step out first and then step in. So here's what you need to hear, especially those of you with double hips replaced. This is going to surprise you, but when you go to lifting the other hip, okay, when you go to abducting and adducting this one, see, it's going to be very difficult. This one's harder for me because of the hip being replaced here, okay? If you need to hold like this, behind the chair like this, so that you don't overlean, then you do that. That's perfectly fine. Press down and bring that leg out and in. See, I'm working on that other leg now. Drop your shoulders. Woo! Breath. So I call this workout, let's see. This is dealing with the minimal and minor muscles, okay? We can do big movements, carries, all that stuff that brings in all your muscles. But when you start doing therapy because your hip, your knee, your foot is not functioning properly, that's because we have imbalances a lot of times in our muscle strength. It might have to do with a joint injury. It might have to do with all kinds of different things that you're doing that you don't know. And then you get weaker. So I'm pressing down so that I don't overlean, tightening in my tummy. I want to keep my toe up and just take my leg out to the side. See, while I rely on this replaced hip side to keep me from overleaning. So I'm going to keep that toe in dorsiflexion, and I'm stepping out, stepping out, stepping out, stepping in. I'm going to do 3 more, and then I'm going to do those repeats, okay? The ones that you love. Take a breath. I'm trying to stay upright. I'm pressing down so that I don't overlean, so I use the right muscles. Okay, now I'm going to do the repeats. I'll turn like this so you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, tighten up. You take it out as far as it can go. Then you lie on this and you do these little tiny presses, 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 presses. Keep going. Presses, 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 and down. Take a big deep breath. Yes. Now, this is the perfect time to come back to the minors. Not the majors, but the minor, the middle and the minor muscles of the leg, which is your hamstring. Still going to use the gluteal, but because I have this band on my leg, let's use it. Okay? Go into a little tiny hip hinge. Take one leg back, just like that. Just like that. Lean in, and then try to bring that heel up a tiny bit. Not a lot. See this? Yeah, you won't see these typically done in most of the stuff that you're seeing out there and, you know, all these exercise videos. That's number one. Number two, you won't see the full repetitions done. People will go on and they'll do one or two and they'll show you how to do it. But then we're doing it right now. So see, I'm doing every one of these with you. Drop your shoulders. You're leaning in. You got the toe right here. And now you're just going to bring that heel to your hip. Not really, but that's the move. See that? Whoa! That's hamstring. Right there. Tighten in your gluteal. Here we go. Drop. Woo! Breath. Right there. Breath. Pull. 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 If it gets too tight, stop. Stand up. And get ready to switch. Are you ready? Okay, drop your shoulders. I'm going to take the leg back to the toe. I'm going to lean forward. And I'm going to bring heel to hip against that band. Now, if you don't like the bands, but you have leg weights, that would be fine. Do that. Because you're going to use the same kind of a move. It's going to be a little different in that you're pulling against a resistance rather than picking up a resistance. But it's a little difference. You're still going to be innervating that muscle in the back of your leg. Big breath. 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 See, just bring the heel up a bit. Just bring the heel up just a little. Stay with me. Take a breath. Stay with me. Breath. Woo! Okay, 3 more. Here we go. 2 more. Here we go. 1 more. Okay. These should be zinging right now. Yes, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to bring that chair around. I'm going to have a sit. I'm going to bring my heel out and just take my bands out. Okay? Just like that and off. So there I am. That can go with you anywhere, literally. Lean in. Yes, we've been doing a lot of core stability in the lifts that we've been doing. Okay? So I'm saying to you, let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. Take your legs out and let's give your core a little bit of a break. Do you see what I'm doing right now? This is quite a little, just a little bit of a turn. See? I'm not turning my hips because I'm sitting. But when I turn my upper body and my head, I push against this knee. Okay? Gently. Right here. Turn, push. Turn, push. So you get a little bit of a stretch through the groin, but you really It really helps to release tension around your shoulders, in your mid to lower back. This little move right here, keeping your chin tucked and your rib cage up. And just do like, spend 15 to 30 seconds doing this little kind of thing, and see how I push against and I bring my shoulder around and I look over my shoulder, then I do it again. Push, look over your shoulder, take a big breath, push, look over your shoulder, push, look over your shoulder. Take a big deep breath. Yeah, that should have felt pretty good. So I'm going to stay wide right here. Take a big deep breath. And in a wide stance, we're going to stand up. We're going to come back down. We're going to do that a couple of times. Why do I want to do this? Because I want you to see how your hip is functioning. So when you're wide like this, some of you might have a slight outward turn of the foot. That's fine. Okay, get it where that you can come in like this. Okay. If you have a wonky hip, chances are you're going to need to use a little help to get you to neutral. See there? See that? See what I did? There's no reason to have a pain in your hip, okay, to get up. If you have arthritis, if you have any kind of issues, lower back or hip wise, use your hands just to help you come up to here. See that? And then I'm going to come up. See, I'm in a wide stance, and just notice how is your hip feeling? I have a tightness over on this one. I don't feel that over here because this one's replaced. Yeah, I'm paying attention to that. Here we go. I'm pushing back, and I just want to continue to function in a full range of motion through my joints. That's the whole point. Here we go. I'm going to lean in. If you need to, use your hands to get you to neutral and then stand up while you push on your heels, okay? So drop your shoulders, big breath through the nose several times, okay? You lean in, use your hands if you need to. Heels, come up. When you come all the way up, all the way up, how does your hip feel? Okay, now soften your knees just a little, and I want you to push your hips forward because that helps to manage the over tight flexors. This one is tightening on me. I know, I understand what's going on, but we keep functioning, we keep managing this. We don't ignore it. We take note of it. And I can tell you that after a couple of these with a wide stance, doing this and going into that hip position, those of you that have, see I'm doing again, right here. Now I'm pushing the hips forward. Drop your shoulders. Whoa, right through here. Yep. After I do a couple of those, it's like, wow, I can move so much better because this is not so tight. This being tight, sometimes you'll have tightness in the groin when you're having hip issues, sometimes in the back. Okay, so I'm going to come down, take a big deep breath. Okay, now we could do this next one with a leg weight. I'm not going to do that because of the time, but here's the deal. See this? Many of us could do very well by just learning this move. Tightening in the tummy. You go right here, and your leg is pretty straight. You drop your shoulders, but here's the most important thing in this move. Some people will try to lift their leg leaning in. That would be a mistake. You want to lean back, and then you'll feel this brace. Then you lift. See that? You lift. Yeah. Heck, you can do this while you're sitting in church. It'll make so you don't go to sleep. Here we go. Open right here. See that? Take a big breath in through the nose. Right here. Yeah, it's a straight leg lift. I know. Open. Drop your shoulders. Breathe. Breathe. Okay, now stay with me. Here we go, right here. And just go, just a little kick out. See this? Just a tiny little bend. This is, whoa, right here. Right here. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. Come in. Yeah, you should have felt it here in a good way. I mean, it's really working. Max wondering how he's going to do a leg lift. What's wrong now? You want to go do a leg lift? He's my old man. Here we go. Open back. Feel it. Shoulders down, ribcage up. We're going to go push out. See, just like that. See this? Just push it out to the heel. My toe is in dorsiflexion. So this is a really good way to practice that dorsiflexion move, which innervates the front of your calf, the shin. See, just like that. Lean back. This is working. Take a breath. Big breath in through the nose. Yeah. Okay, one more. Okay, you ready? We're going to go up. We're going to go up. We're going to bring it up. Bring it up. Stay back there. Big breath. Bring it up. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Yeah, stay with me. So I feel it right here. This is my hip replacement. I feel that muscle. Okay, here we're right at the end. We're going to go knee bend, knee bend, knee bend, knee bend, knee bend, knee bend. Woo, that's about it for me. I don't know about you. Take a big breath. Okay, drop those shoulders. All right. The last few minutes of our class, I got to check my time. I'm going to pick up my free weights. So do that now if you can. And your free weights should be challenging, but not too heavy. So I'm picking up a medium weight, for instance, because I want to put a little load on my vertebrae, and I want to put load into my whole body frame, because I'm going to do a couple sit to stands. You can do it however is more comfortable for you. You can have it right here, or you can bring them up here. It's whichever you would rather. Okay. So I'm going to come here. I'm not gonna jump out of the seat. I'm going to press out of the seat, and then I'm going to come down and sit. So you can either have them here, you can have them here, you can have them here, however you want. You can have them here, you can come here and up. That's perfectly fine. Come down, same way. Make sure you hit your chair, by the way. I've had all kinds of things happen to me in class. And when you get up, see, some of us drift. And when you go to sit down, you want to make sure that seat is under your butt. You don't want to stay in that drifted position, or you're going to hit the floor. Yes, that has happened. Not to me, but to people, because they didn't check that. Okay, right here, squeeze your gluteals. Take a big breath. Now release the gluteals and come and sit. Take a breath and exhale. Squeeze your gluteals. Come back. Make sure that chair's under you. And come up. Take a big breath. This is our last one. Here we go. Up. Okay. Come on down, come on down, come on down, come on down, and come on down. Take a big breath. Okay. The hands go beside, and all we do is straighten our arms. That's it. With our shoulder blades squeezing. So you come back, keep the shoulder blades down, and now you want to really push through the backs of those arms. Take a breath, push, take a breath, push it back there, breath, breath, push it back, breath, push it back, breath, just two more, Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Take a breath. Was that two? Oh, okay, one more. Sorry, Kathy. I think she's still on. I know, she's shaking her head at me. All right, now I'm gonna put these weights down right there. Check out my hands, pull my hands back, really stretch under my forearm because I did a lot of gripping right here. See that? Take a big breath. Big breath. I'm gonna bring my hand just like this while I'm seated. I'm gonna go way back behind the chair. I'm gonna sit up really tall. I'm gonna push against my leg with the other arm. And I'm gonna look in the opposite direction. And then I bring that arm back around. Put my other hand here, bring this arm up. And I'm gonna look in the opposite direction than where my hand is going behind me. And you're really stretching out those muscles. Take a big deep breath, bring that hand down, and then push back. You're gonna go into the W, go all the way out. I have you sitting down on this one because I'm trying to get you to concentrate on your arm movements because I want you to feel, if you feel that they're moving a little better after the class. Okay, arms around you, your shoulders come up, drop your shoulders, and then just really push back with the back of your head, tucking your chin, open, rounding up your shoulders here. See, I'm not bending my back at all. So I'm reaching out with my deltoids, my shoulders. And then you bring it up and you bring it down. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The whole point of this move is to get you to move better in your, especially your joints, in your hips and your shoulders. So that's where my focus was today. And we started with little tiny movements, and hopefully you're going to be able to ambulate a whole lot better now. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, y'all.